From the pages of JLA, Martian Manhunter.
Then I declare this meeting adjourned.
Heading for the teleport tubes, John?
No, Diana. I have business elsewhere. Batman, since you are on monitor duty, you should know that I'll be out of touch for a little while.
Anything I can help you with, John?
No, I'm just going back to Mars.
John, I don't mean to intrude, but I couldn't help overhearing you're telling Batman you were going back to Mars. Haven't you been back before?
Only in dreams. Or what seemed to be dreams.
Would you like me to come with you?
Thank you, Kal-El, but I think not. This is something of a pilgrimage for me. A journey through my past.
I understand. It always struck me, John. We're alike in so many ways. Aliens from another planet. The last of our respective races, with powers that set us apart from the humans we live with.
True enough, but you were raised on Earth and primarily think of yourself as human. I came to Earth as an adult, and am Martian by culture as well as birth. I am, and always will be, an alien. What did the writer Heinlein called? A stranger in a strange land. One other thing separates us. You did not witness the death of your people firsthand. I did. The source was a plague called Ronmir's Curse, named for our god of fire and death and art. It was telepathic in origin. The Martian weakness to fire is both physical and psychological. We are telepathically drawn to the flickering, uncontrolled image of chaos. Our thoughts become fire at the expense of all else. Even the beating of our hearts. In the case of Ronmir's Curse, our very bodies erupted into flame. It took all I had to block the sounds of the screams and howls, the stench of burning flesh, the feel of ash coating my skin, the thoughts of the doomed eating at my mind like waves of sand. It was the last day of our lives, of the Martian race. I cut myself off from my people to survive. To understand what that means, you have to understand we were all telepathic. Of course, as with any such society, there are careful protocols that we all observe to respect one another's privacy. But more important, there was the underlying knowledge that you were never alone. You were always part of something greater. We called it the Great Voice, and it was within us at all times. In the end, I had to deny the Great Voice to survive. I had to kill myself to live. I had one sanctuary left, my own home, my own family, and I would lose those as well. Miria.
John, husband? Oh, John, I've been so scared. You said not to send or receive from anyone, but that means I know nothing of what's happening out there. But John, why don't you let me see our true face?
I'm sorry, Miria. I concentrate so hard on not letting down my guard out there. Here, is this better?
Right.
Our bodies, our very clothes adapt to our thoughts, as you've seen. The form by which you know me best is the common shape that, with variation, we all wore in daily contact with each other. Our truest forms, like our deepest thoughts, we shared with only those with whom we were most intimate, as I did with Miria.
John, it has been so long since we have blended our thoughts, our bodies. John, I need that so much right now.
That's how the plague spreads. Mind to mind. Mir, I'm sorry. But you don't know what I've been exposed to out there. For your own sake. For the sake of Kim. We don't dare.
Mama? Papa? I can't hear the great voice. I feel hot.
She's showing all the signs of Ronmir's curse.
I don't care! My daughter needs me!
Maria, you can't save her. No one can.
I feel scared.
Then better to die with her. Open your thoughts, darling. Mother's here.
Mommy, I see only flames flickering.
Miria! Kim!
I see them too.
I couldn't save them.
Papa!
My own body failed me. My clothing pulled me back. I could feel their thoughts hammering against my mind, seeking refuge from the burning. And I almost let them in. Did I flee? Did they thrust me away to save me? I don't know. I'll never know. My family was dead, and I was the last of my race left alive. The last, save one. In my world, we all had our functions. As with our forms, outward functions as well as inward. Innermost, I was a philosopher, seeking wisdom, seeking to understand, seeking to explain. Outwardly, I was what on earth we would call a manhunter, seeking those within society and without who would bring its downfall. And I had failed. My philosophy had failed me in explaining him, and so I had failed to stop him, even though I knew who he was and where he could be found. He thought himself safe behind his mound of fire. I no longer sought wisdom. I no longer sought understanding. I sought only his death, even if it meant mine. I was in the Central Power Cathedral on Mars, within the volcano you know as Olympic Mons. All of our power was geothermal in nature, open flame being anathema to us. And my target was the priest, scientist of the station, the one known as Malefuck!
Jones? Well, this is unpleasant. I created a virus to kill off all of my fellow Martians. Why aren't you dead? While you live, I am still Malefuck the Freak. The only Martian born without telepathy. The only Martian immune to fire. The only one immune to the virus. Tell me, Jones, what did it cost you to close your mind to it?
Everything!
Not everything, not your life, not yet! Gone? Burned to ash so soon? What trick do you play, Jones?
I had bent the light, become invisible, so I could get within striking distance of my enemy. For he was my enemy, more than any I have ever known before or since. Now, for our people, for my wife, for my child. Die, motherfucker!
Only in telepathy am I a freak, Jones. In all else, I am your match. And you will die.
Yes, but only if you die with me! Our struggle smashed the ducts that held the magma and wrecked the controls that controlled the flow. The pressure built to a deadly level in the room, and in us. Die, monster! Malefuck wanted nothing more or less than my death. That made him less powerful than I. All I wanted was an end to everything. I lost. When I woke up, I was alone. Malefak was buried beneath the rubble that had been his temple, his seat of power, and I was still alive. The only one of my family, my race, who still lived. The great voice was stilled. I had never thought of Mars as barren before then. Now it was as dead as I felt inside. I wept for them. Mostly, I wept for myself. I wandered our cities after that. I don't know for how long. Days, weeks, months, centuries. It was all one day, all one night. I morphed myself into my fellow Martians, most especially my wife and child. I lived out their lives for them. In that way, I could convince myself they were still alive. Mostly, I pretended my daughter was alive. I played with her, listened to her secrets, and she forgave me for not being closer to her when she died. Last thing I remember of Mars was being struck by an intense white light. I felt as if my body was being torn apart even, as I was torn from the planet of my birth. And then I came to Earth. It was an old house, I believe, near the outskirts of Denver.
It's working! It's working! After all this time, it's working!
I discovered later that the name of the man who brought me here was Dr. Erdl.
You got something for me? What you got, baby? Bring it to daddy. On second thoughts, maybe not such a good idea. Maybe we should just send it back. Reverse polarity of the old neutron flow or something. Say, do I smell something burning?
I had no idea what had happened, what was happening to me. One moment I had been lost on the sands of Mars holding my daughter. I felt the need to get back to her. The next... where? Martians have no concept of hell, not as humans in Western Europe define it. We have Ronmir, the god demon of fire. I was trapped in the belly of Ronmir, and all around me was fire. It filled my eyes, it filled my mind, it consumed me from inside out, and I felt everything. I was slipping away, melting, burning away.
Help me! Help me!
I heard the voice, and though I did not understand the words, I understood the tone, a plea for help, the same tone by which my child had called to me. I would not fail as I had once failed. I shut my eyes, my mind's eye, to the beckoning insidious images of flame. I shut off my mind to all but what I had to do. I would not give another victim to Ronmir. I would save a life, and in doing so, save my own. I tried to comfort my charge. You are hurt. Don't try to speak. Open your mind. Allow me in. I may be able to help you and shut down pain centers.
Who are you? What are you? Where are you from?
Order your thoughts. It will be easier that way. My name is Jean Jones. I am from the planet you identify as Mars, which we call Melekandra. This is the planet Earth, as you call it. Paralandra to us. How did I come here?
My doing. Sorry. I'm Dr. James Erdl, Professor of Archaeology. Found equipment buried in ground. Maybe a millennium old. Far advanced from our own. Bought it home. Thought if I could make it work, it would make me famous. Rich. Respected again. Put it together to see what it did. It found you. Blew up.
I saw a piece of the device lying nearby, and it tugged at my memory. It was part of a Martian teleport device.
Must have put it together wrong. Wife always said I could rewire the toaster and it'd go to Mars. Don't know how to get you back where you belong. Sorry.
I couldn't pick up any thoughts after that. Hearing a strange cry coming closer, I decided to bend the light around me and turn invisible again until I knew what I was dealing with. Thus I met Police Detective John Jones.
We got the blaze out, Lieutenant Jones. Best guess is his furnace blew or something.
And how'd he get out of here with his injuries? Didn't get thrown out by the explosion. Blast dispersion pattern's all wrong. And look at this. Like nothing I've ever seen before. Pick up anything that looks like a part of this. I want to know what went on here.
By monitoring his thoughts, I understood what he was saying. Detective Jones impressed me. I decided to stick close to him and learn more about this Earth I'd been thrust on, and its people. Through Jones, I first learned about humanity, of its rich variety, of its potential for both greatness and depravity, in some ways so similar, and in others so alien to me. And I became fascinated. Humanity as a whole is as compelling as the flickering flame to me, but not as deadly. This is one of the essential differences between us, Kal-El. Though both of us are alien-born, you were raised by the people of this planet, and think of yourself primarily as one of them. I am not, and do not, but am, nonetheless, drawn to them, and I am glad that they think of me as a friend. I stayed close, but invisible to Detective Jones for the next year. From his thoughts, I learned everything about him. A loner, driven, stubborn, no family, hated cats, working on an ulcer, and took chances he shouldn't. He was working on a big case against the crime lord and should have been in protective custody but refused. Finally, the morning came when he was due in court to testify.
If that's not you, Kawiki, I'm answering this door with a gun.
It's us, Lieutenant. You ready?
Now let me throw on a coat and tie and we're ready to roll.
Take your time, Lieutenant.
Even as I disposed of Kawiki, I went into his mind. I wanted to understand, how could he betray one of his own kind like that?
Kawiki?
And that was my fatal mistake. It never occurred to me that his partner, Morgan, would be in on it too. I had failed to perceive, failed to understand, failed to protect. Again! I know, Detective Jones, how important this case was to you, and how important your testimony is. Without it, the guilty will escape. But I know all that you knew. The guilty will be brought to justice. I will serve and protect, as you strove to serve and protect. Your people are mine now, and I will not fail. I've striven to keep that promise, Kal-El. It is what drove me to join the Justice League of America when it was first formed. Something more has kept me a part of the Justice League since then. There is the camaraderie, the feelings that here are my peers, here is my family now. But even more, it is what the League stands for. Protect the weak, right what is wrong, seeking justice for all, helping humanity understand and achieve its potential. I can't think of anything more central to my being. I am the League, and the League is me. But what I do today, I must do alone. It is time to return home, to Mars, and confront and make peace with my ghosts.
I do understand, John. I wish in many ways that I could do the same. Just remember, you aren't alone. There isn't a member of the League, past or present, who wouldn't be willing to lend you a hand at any time. Because just as you said, you are the League. Perhaps more than any of us. Come back safely, and soon.
I will. So I have begun what some on Earth would call a pilgrimage. When I was first snatched to Earth, I was so disoriented, so scarred by my own grief, that I convinced myself my people still lived. I have since confronted the truth in my heart and mind. Now it is time to do so in person. And so I have come to you, Malagandra, of my former life, Mars as I call you now. Your last son has come home. I face you in my true shape. I forgive you for the deaths of my wife and child. I forgive you for the deaths of my people, as I forgive myself. And I embrace you. I embrace your red sands and your raging winds. You are my bones. You are my skin. You are my soul. This is my true home, more than any other. Though I live among others and return to them now, I will always be a part of you as you are of me. Always your son.
So, John Jones, you still live? That is good to know. For now, I have a purpose in my life once more.
Now wasn't that just fucking mind-blowing? Hey everyone, this is your faithful friend and compatriot, the Russian comic book geek here, and yes, I got a haircut. Looks amazing, doesn't it? Anyway, first of all, I'd like to thank JD for, just doing a fucking bang-up job on this assignment. You can find the link to his channel down in the description. Please go subscribe to him. He's an insanely talented guy. He's 19 years old, and the motherfucker can put fucking Mufasa to shame. James Earl Jones type of shit. 19. I swear to God. And, first of all, he's so fucking humble. He's such a great guy. Like I said, I'll fucking pay for this. This is amazing. This level of quality deserves financial retribution. And he's like, no, I don't think I'm good enough to get paid for this yet. What a humble motherfucker. I'm like, just go subscribe to him. Fucking watch his videos, they're amazing. He's just a great fucking guy overall. JD, you're the motherfucker. You're a bad motherfucker. You, my friend, are a bad motherfucker in the best way possible. Anyway, other people I have to thank for helping me out on this motion comic is one Adam McLaughlin. He, voiced the John Jones, the detective. Another great, incredibly talented guy that helps me out for free. I'm surprised that I keep finding all these incredibly talented guys on fucking YouTube that will work for free, and I'm like, thank you. YouTube is filled with so much potential, you just have to find it. And of course, One Bandit Incorporated, who, provided the voice of the good doctor. Most of you, I'm sure, are watching this video because of Bandit recommending it, so yeah, I'm going to talk about myself for a little while. It's time for my ego-stroking session. I was, of course, Malafog the Freak. Yes, I am Russian and sexy. God, I love this haircut. I'm looking at it and it's just it's so weird. I used to have this Superman kind of coiffed hair. Now it's just I look like a young Chuck Lobdell. Anyway, yeah, I make motion comics podcasts and just, hey, just an old guy. And, yeah, that's what I do here. Please subscribe, like, comment, check out some of my other stuff. It seems to be rather good, I think, and, yeah. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please farewell, goodbye, до свидания, and au revoir. Epic outro! Yes, my fist did just turn into a bear. Because I'm Russian.